Welcome back to Gun Tote Minnesota. My name is Andrew, and what you're looking at here is the Funhorun ladder stand platform and blind covering. I'm going to go ahead and climb in here to give you an idea what it's like on the inside. I'll open a few windows so you can see from your perspective what that might look like. Right now, I'm in like peak fall moment where, or maybe just a little bit past even, where a lot of the leaves have dropped and a lot of the leaves look like what we're seeing right here. I've still got some buckthorn that has a little bit of green. I have a lot of oak on here. This particular camel pattern just fits a lot of places really well, especially hardwood forests. But I'll climb in and give you a peek. Again, I'm 6'5", and that should tell you about how high it is. It's about shoulder height for me. Climbing in is not difficult. I do have a Funhorun chair in here, which you can't see at the moment. In fact, you probably can't see me well until I open up this window right here. I'll open half a window and a couple full windows so you can get a perspective of what it would be like. And there's windows all over this thing, guys. You have a lot of options for pass through. I can see you well because this is a two-way mesh on my side. I don't know what you would call it. It's a mesh that I can see through, but you can't see in. So maybe that's more of a one-way mesh is what I should call it. I can see out, you can't see in. There we go. With my ladder, or with my chair, I can access all of these windows really well. I'm going to give you a quick 360 and then I'm going to take you inside with me in here. Here is the stand. Ladder definitely supports me well. They're not really thick, wide stairs, but they're going to hold up decently well. I weigh 250 pounds and I didn't feel it flexing or moving. I did follow the instructions in the manual pretty well. So I didn't over tighten what you shouldn't over tighten, and I didn't under tighten anything either. The actual construction of this, putting it together, assembly, probably took me 3 hours total. Now, I did that because I needed to do it right for this video. It took my time. You might be able to do this with someone a little faster than that, but me by myself hauling it out here, 3.5 hours, I would say total to get it all constructed. You can see you have lateral supports. You have horizontal support. This guy is actually pretty well steady right where it's at, and the frame doesn't give me any vibration or flex or wobble. It's just very, very steady right here. You can see the 3 windows on this side. I've got one half open, one of them full, and then the bottom is also open. So you can take some really close shots or get some good airflow through. I know you folks in the south, you probably need that little bit of airflow going through this because it would be more hot where you're at than where I'm at. And you can kind of get an idea of how well you can see through it. I can see through that blind just fine when I'm sitting inside. It's just slightly darker. Got a zippered open entry, and after you unzip that, there actually is a bar up there. There's a grab bar. You can see I've got the Funhorun chair in there, the swivel chair, excellent chair for this kind of hunting. Let's climb in. Okay, we're inside the blind, and I've done a few things here as instructed by the manual that I think are really important. So when you assemble this, you do have a pattern on top. You need to make sure that this is secured, that the fabric is secured with all of these little retention straps. You don't want to over tighten them or under tighten them. If you really ratchet down on those, you're going to rip them right out because it's fabric, and it's a thinner fabric. It is fairly good for water shedding capability, but you don't have the tensile strength where you can just really ratchet on those things. It's not designed for that. It actually doesn't need that to stay on there. You have both bungee hooks as well, so those are the bungee hooks, as well as these fabric straps. And between the two of them, you just don't need to, really cinch it down any tighter than that. And on each tier, you're gonna find some. So you have that here, then down here on the shooting bar, there's more all the way around. You've got more, and all the way down to the foot. Here's the grate cover style floor. I put in one pad just because it's comfortable to climb in on. And I may put on a couple more weatherproof pads. This is the opening, and it's a good size. I'm 6'5", I fit through here with no trouble. And when I need some help climbing in, I can grab this bar right here. These bars are really useful. You can tell that putting a bag on the bar or your rifle right on the bar, it gives you a nice steady location to shoot off of, and you don't have to worry about freehanding it. You can shoot out of this window, you can see for a long ways, but actually the bar itself is going to give you some stability. If you're going to get this blind, if you're going to get this platform, I want to highly recommend that you consider also getting the Funhorun chair. I've already done a review on this chair, but it's a swivel chair. It's really comfortable, and probably the most important part, considering hunting, it's quiet. It's a very quiet chair. Again, I can fit in here. I can put my chair right in the middle. I'm not going to right now because of filming, but I can put my chair right in the middle, and I can access every window here. I think you could kind of make this a two-person if the other person was very comfortable, if you're close with them, or maybe a small child. You could probably fit two people in here. One person would cover one section or window area, and then you would cover the other. But by myself, I can hunt 360 in here, no problems. The rain is not going to be a problem. It's going to shed off of this pretty well. Even a little bit of a dump, I think this is going to pour right off. It's a very weatherproof coating that you have over the top. And then on the sides, believe it or not, when I close up these windows, it really keeps the wind out. I am surprised how well this works. It actually gets a tad bit warm in here. Now, having an open floor, that's always going to allow for cold air or wind to come through. Some people do things like when they set up their blind in their final location, they might add some sort of subfloor to it. I've seen people use like different kinds of thin plastic, or I've seen people use wood and just weather coat the wood. I'm using some foam, and I'm going to put in some of these foam squares that are like a high density foam. They make it quiet, they're nice, they're comfortable, they keep the updraft out, and here in Minnesota, it gets very cold in winter. For small game, I'm gonna be hunting out of this, and there will be days when I'm small game hunting and it's in the negatives, it's below zero altogether. So it's just nice to keep out all that cold air, keep some of the sound out. But if it's warm, I can take those out altogether, and those foam panels only cost me about $5, so they're very affordable. And just throwing some ideas out there to you guys. I like the blind a lot. It's very convenient. As you can tell, you can see right through it. So I can see what's moving around me in a 360-degree pattern. I can even see below me a little bit if there's something right underneath me. We've got these low windows down here, so I can actually get access to something that's just underneath my stand if I need to, or if I've got a buddy who wants to hand me gear, we can reach up through these or the general opening. So is this right for you? Well, I can really only speak for myself, but for me, at my personal property where I can hunt, I like the idea of having a fixed stand, a platform and blind there that I don't have to move around. Mobility is an advantage of some of the ground blinds that Funhorun has released, and I've got a video on one of those, as well as their shooting chair, which is inside this blind right now. I like the mobile blinds, I like the breakdown blinds, especially if I'm hunting somebody else's property, or I know that animals are moving and I need a new location. If I don't want to get tied down to a spot, those mobile blinds still have the advantage of being see-through, having that pass-through technology fabric. I think that's great. They're really easy to haul and move around. You can still stake them out. They're very wind and weather resistant in my experience, but for my personal use, I would prefer this blind over the other ones on my personal property. If I go hunt another property like I did early this season, then yes, a mobile blind really has an advantage, because I'm not going to haul this on a flatbed over to that property, and it takes more than one person to set this up and navigate it around efficiently. So it's going to be up to you to decide which one makes more sense for your hunt. I would say if you're building something at your personal property, you're cutting lanes, this is a nice advantage because you can get off the ground. You still have the pass-through technology. You have more windows with this than you're going to have with other types of blinds typically. And then you have the weather resistance factor as well. Visibility is great for other humans. They can tell where you're at because it's off the ground. You can put some orange trim on the corners or an orange flag on top, or hang an orange vest in the window. They can still see you, but the animals tend to just look right past it. And a lot of times if deer are close, their eyes are on the level. They're looking out here, looking at the edge of the woods. They might not be looking up at you. And so there's just a lot of advantages to your own property hunting out of a platform, and even taller platforms than this. There's a big advantage, but it's up to you. It's the way you use your blind. I just happen to recommend this one. If this isn't exactly what you're looking for and you're more interested in one of those mobile blinds, go ahead and watch one of these videos right here.